It is 5:30 on January 27th, 2026. I'm going to call this meeting, the regular meeting of the Morton County Commission to order. First item will be the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next of the roll call, Commissioner Morrell. Here. Commissioner Tokash. Here. Commissioner Zachmeyer.
Yes.
And myself, Commissioner Boehm. Commissioner Buckley is absent tonight. Up at the front desk, we also have Deputy Auditor Kathy Krantz, have Sheriff Kyle Kirkmeyer in the back, and Treasurer Carrie Hudsonviller is here tonight also. Next will be the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make an addition to the agenda. For a second bullet under item number 4 with Don LaFleur is to discussion for committee to review ag modifier applications.
Okay. Are there any other corrections or additions?
Motion to accept the agenda with the mentioned changes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda with the additions. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next will be the minutes from the previous meeting. We have two of them in here. Let's do them separate. We have the Morton County Commission joint meeting on December 12th with Burleigh County. Do that one first.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve the December 12 joint commission meeting with Burleigh County and Morton County.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the Morton County Commission joint meeting with Burleigh County on December 12th, 2025. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the minutes from the December 30th Morton County Commission regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes of the December 30th, 2025 meeting as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the Morton County Commission regular meeting on December 30th, 2025. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Monthly bills and payroll. I had bills this month. I went through, we had quite a pile because we didn't have a meeting at the beginning of the month, but didn't see any real problems this time. A couple of questions I had were answered, so I would move that we would approve the bills and payroll.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve bills and payroll. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, a roll call vote. Commissioner Morrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Tokash?
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion carries. All right, with that, we'll move into our regular meeting, and the first item on there is reorganization of the County Commission Board, election of chairman and vice chairman, and I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Auditor Krantz.
Okay. Are there any nominations for chairman?
Madam Auditor, I would like to nominate Nathan Boehm for chairman.
Okay.
I'll second.
We have a nomination. We have and a second to Commissioner Boehm being chairman. Are there any other nominations?
Madam Auditor, make a motion to cease nominations and cast unanimous ballot for Commissioner Boehm as chair.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion to cease nominations and cast the ballot, a unanimous ballot for Commissioner Boehm for the chairman position. Any discussion? All in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried, and Chairman Boehm will be chairman again for the 2026 year. Now I'd like to call for any nominations for the vice chairman position. Any nominations for vice chairman?
Madam Auditor, I'd nominate Andy Zachmeyer.
Okay, we have received a nomination for Andy Zachmeyer, Mr. Commissioner Zachmeyer, to the vice chairman position. Are there any other nominations? Are there any?
Madam Auditor, make a motion that we cease nominations, cast unanimous ballot for Commissioner Zachmeyer to serve as vice chair.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to cast a unanimous, cease the nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Mr. Zachmeyer as vice chairman for the commission board of 2026. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried, and we now have a new vice chairman, Commissioner Zachmeyer, for the 2026 year. At this point, I'd like to turn back the chair to Commissioner Bain.
Thank
Chairman.
you. Thank you,
You're-
Kathy. Okay, moving on. Congratulations, Commissioner Zachmeyer. Second on our agenda tonight, we have our portfolio assignments. I know, visiting with Jackie yesterday, she was happy with where she was. I don't know, on the list here, we need to take Ron Lang's name off. But is there anybody want any changes, any corrections? Are we happy with where we're at? Any discussion on anything? Everything's kind of rolling along pretty good right now. None of our department heads want to kick us out yet? All right. If not, these can be adjusted throughout the year, so if there's something that comes up during the year, just bring it up, get it on the agenda, and we can discuss it, so that's not an issue.
Want a motion?
Sure, let's put it into a motion that we leave them.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the portfolio assignments for the commissioners as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the portfolio positions as presented. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next is Carrie Hudson-Biller, Morton County Treasurer.
Good evening, Commissioner Boehm and Commission, or Chairman Boehm and Commission. I'm here tonight for, first to designate my 2026 depositories, being the funds that we're investing in Morton County for the 2026 year. I have 4 main depositories this year. Dakota Community Bank out of Hebron, First International Bank and Trust, which is our main depository out of Mandan, Multi-Bank Securities, which is eConnect. The head office is not in North Dakota, but we do a lot of CD investment through there through a ladder system. And then Starian Bank also in Mandan. So I would just be looking to have the commission approve that list of depositories for 2026.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd move to name the following depositories for Morton County for the year 2026. Dakota Community Bank in Hebron, North Dakota. First International Bank and Trust is a main depository in Mandan, North Dakota. Multi-Bank Securities, eConnect Direct, and Starian Bank in Mandan, North Dakota.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve and designate the 2026 depositories as presented. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and the second item that I'm before you tonight with is out-of-state travel to attend my 2026 NACFO conference that will be held in New Orleans in July, the 12th through the 15th. I'm one of 2 NACFO representatives for NACFO for our Treasurers Association. So I will be absent. It's approximately $1,800, which is allocated in my budget. And I would be absent from the office during the time frame in which my deputy treasurer would oversee. So I would be looking for approval for that out-of-state travel from July 11th through the 16th to New Orleans.
Hot and humid.
Hot and humid.
Mr. Chair, just going to make, because what was last year?
Last year was,
Down south?
oh, you're going to ask me, and I'm just,
Because I think,
I was also somewhere very warm. It was a long
I think
time
that's a
ago.
prerequisite for these conferences. It's got to
Yeah.
be the humid.
We were just discussing they could make some better choices of some better weather.
January, North Dakota. As chair, make a motion, we approve out-of-state travel for the Morton County Treasurer to attend the NACC TFO / National Association of County Officers Reps for Treasurers Association Conference, July 11 through 16, 2026 in New Orleans for training.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the out-of-state travel to attend the 2026 NACFO Conference held in New Orleans, Louisiana on July 12th through the 15th. That's what I got up front. And here it's 11 to 16. You're going to be traveling. So 11 to 16, I think Ray said. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
On the floor, Morton County Tax Director.
Okay, first abatement we have up tonight is a little bit of an unusual one. It is a vacant lot. The abatement number is 7167. The applicant is Paul Milner. I handed out a letter he asked me to present. And if he's here, then I'll have him come up and speak.
Back there.
Good evening. My name is Paul Milner. I live at 3275 River Place Drive North. And thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I recently submitted a request for property tax abatement to Mr. LaFleur in the Office of Tax Equalization. In that request, I requested there be no increase in the valuation or taxation for a parcel with it. My wife and I, Catherine, own on River Place 7th Subdivision. I understand in talking with Mr. LaFleur that empty lot assessments are made based on comparables in the county. I would ask the commission this evening to take exception to that valuation practice in light of the location of our parcel. The lot that Catherine and I purchased in 2001 is directly adjoining to Coldwater Outfitters, which appears to be a commercial entity. I did attend your last commission meeting and also the January 2026 Zoning and Planning Commission meeting. As such, I acknowledge that you're all fully aware of the magnitude of the zoning violations relative to this operation, as well as the denial of the two requests to Mr. Brian Dean made on behalf of Coldwater. In the original packet sent by Natalie Pierce to the Zoning Commission, there were pictures that reflected the sanitation conditions of Coldwater Outfitters property, as well as the health violations and the overall visual condition of the property. The packet also contained a letter from Christine Ravinius, broker and owner of Goldstone Realty. In her letter, Ms. Ravinius stated that, quote, potential buyers are unlikely to choose this location if it deviates, which it does, from the desired rural residential neighborhood, which could further reduce market value due to disruptions in the neighborhood. When the residential character of an area is compromised, potential buyers hesitate and existing homeowners experience direct loss of equity. It should be noted that Catherine and I have not tried to sell the property as we originally purchased it for eventual residence for our daughters. Because of the presence of cold water outfitters, the resulting negative impacts, we believe the value of the lot has not appreciated the 19% as reflected in our current tax statement. Likely, its marketability, property value have diminished. It's also questionable whether the groundwater has been contaminated. I know there was a recommendation that testing be done. However, I have no information to suggest that this has or ever will occur. There is a shallow well that we put in adjacent to cold water outfitters that may be impacted with parasites and bacteria. Furthermore, I have no information nor reason to believe that the operation with cold water will change. It also appears there's likely possibility that the state's attorney may choose not to prosecute the case. Until the adjacent property is converted and legitimately used as residential property, and until the underground groundwater contamination issue is fully addressed and remediated if necessary, I would respectfully ask the Commission that the property tax valuation remain at the 2024 level. When both of these issues are successfully addressed, Catherine and I would have no concern with an equitable valuation based on comparable properties. Again, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight.
Commissioners have any questions for Mr. Milner?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Milner, I've got a couple of questions. One, in your opinion, is cold water outfitters still continuing to run a lodge out of that facility?
I don't know what their current status is, sir. All I know is that nothing's changed. The site's still there, the trailers are still there, the chicken coop's still there, the property's still the same.
Okay. My second question is, you talked about groundwater contamination. How deep is your well?
16 feet.
Okay, so basically we're talking river water. You're very close to the river there.
Yeah, we're about 400 yards from the river.
Yeah. Okay.
The groundwater, I'm not sure which direction their septic system has been running, and that's where my concern is.
Okay.
I do have testing that was done when I initially put the well in, so I have a comparable, but I'm just not sure what has been done from, I think, the health department or some other thing. And in a way, I apologize. If you look at my tax statement, this is a $30, $40 thing. It's not about the money. And secondly, I have full confidence in all of you. I watched what you all did last time on this issue. It's just, personally, I don't think the value of our property increased 19%. And until that entity is gone, I don't think it's marketable. But thank you all again. Are there other questions?
Anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Milner.
Okay, with that, I'll stand for any questions you might have of me regarding this.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Kokesh.
I move to deny abatement 7167.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to deny abatement 7167. Is there any discussion?
Well, Mr. Chairman, we do have a motion on the floor, but in my opinion, this request needs to go back to the tax director. This letter was presented to him, and with different claims, but no presentation has been received from our tax director on the various rules, laws, regulations that would cover this gentleman's request. I think that this should be sent back to the director for an evaluation. He had the letter in possession, but yet there's no recommendation on whether this letter is valid, or these claims are valid or not valid, or within the rules or regulations of taxation. Oh, there's recommendations on every other one that we get, but not this one. It's the tax director's responsibility to evaluate it. He had the letter in hand. We need to hear his report. But we do have a motion on the floor.
Yep, I do. Is there any other discussion?
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, I did have a conversation with our tax director this afternoon, earlier today about this, in conjunction with a bunch of other stuff. I guess to answer Commissioner Zachmar's question, we can definitely give the tax director that opportunity to give the dialogue with this. It's just the fact that, based on the information that's presented, you know, I'll stand with Commissioner Tokash's motion. But I'd definitely invite our tax director to give any comment.
I guess speaking directly to what Commissioner Zachmeyer brought up, as the tax director, most of those claims in the letter, I'd have no ability to make any position on them. I can't speak to groundwater. At this point in time, as far as sales in that area and are they impacted by this, we have no evidence to support one way or the other. Which is kind of why I took that position of not taking any position on this, because it is an unusual situation. And if there is evidence, I mean, nobody's selling anything in proximity to this cold water to give us any kind of idea of what's going on down there. And is this impacting them or not? I do think that this can be a slippery slope. Everybody has a condition that they can point to say, I should be lower because of whatever it is. So generally, I don't like fielding these types of things. Some people will say if you're near the river, you should be higher. Some people will say, well, you flood, so you should be lower. Some people say, I got a train in my backyard, you know, whatever it is. I mean, everybody's got something that they can point to, so I don't like fielding these. So if I had to make a recommendation, my recommendation would be a denial on this.
And Mr. Chairman, just to provide a little more color,
Okay.
the information that was provided is, in my opinion, very subjective, and I do agree it opens up the door to everyone in the county saying, oh, well, I don't like the way my vehicles or my neighbor's vehicles are parked. It's bringing my property values down. There's nothing concrete in here other than there was a lodge that was being operated out of that facility. And that should be taken care of now.
And to add with that, if there's any health concerns, obviously that would be addressed through Morton County Public Health. Whether it be the septic or nuisance or roading concerns or anything of that consideration.
Is there any further discussion or comments? Any discussion?
I do want to thank Mr. Miller for coming forward, though. Definitely appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Last call for discussion. Seeing none, we'll vote on the motion as was stated. A denial of the abatement 7167. All those in favor of the denial, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next set of abatements. These come from the city of Mandan. They're abatements 7168 through 7170. They're for Morgan Sioux. The city of Mandan found out that what they were assessing on this parcel, which covers years 23, 24, and 25, was a duplicate assessment with another parcel, so they are moving to eliminate this parcel, all the values, so that's why everything's going to zero.
Mr. Chair, motion to accept abatement number 7168, 7169, and 7170 for land that was assessed on another parcel.
Second.
Administrative correction.
It's been moved and seconded to approve abatement 7168, 7169, and 7170 for the tax years of 2023, 24, and 25 for land assessed on another parcel. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the next abatement is 7171. This is a farm residence exemption. In the course of processing the 2026 farm residence exemptions, it was noticed that this was received but not granted to the farmer when it should have been. I have attached that application. It was received on December 23rd of 24. It was approved by the tax director on 12/31 of 24. So there is no reason why it should not have been granted. It was just missed, and therefore the applicant was taxed on it. So we're asking you to go back, remove that home from taxation for this taxpayer.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve farm residence abatement 7171 for the year 2025.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve abatement 7171 for tax year 2025 for home farmstead residence exemption. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and then we get to the homestead abatements, so we have two of them before you tonight, 7172 and 7173. 7172 comes from the city of Mandan for 2025. 7173 is for Morton County for 2025.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve abatement number 7172 from the city of Mandan and 7173 from, would have been from Morton County, for homestead abatement.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve abatement 7172 for tax year 2025 for city of Mandan and 7173 for 2025 for homestead abatement for the Morton County. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. And then finally for abatements, I have abatements, veterans credits abatements. They're 7174 through 7176. They all come from the city of Mandan. 7174, 7175, and 7176 are for 2025. 7177 is for 2024. I have attached the various city of Mandan agenda documents. These have been sitting on my desk for a while due to issues with the taxway system, but we're finally able to move them forward. That's why we're getting so many that went through different times through Mandan, but they're coming to the county all at the same time.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve veteran abatement, city of Mandan, 7174, 7175, and 7176 for the year 2025. And also the city of Mandan abatement 7177 for 2024.
Second.
been moved and seconded to approve abatements, veterans credit abatements, or 7174, 7175, 7176 for 2025, and 7177 for 2024 for the city of Mandan. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
Okay.
Don?
And then moving on to modifiers, in my discussions with Commissioner Morrell this afternoon, he asked me to speak to some of the rules, I guess, for lack of a better term, that we have around receiving these applications. So I'll do that first, and then we can talk about the committee second, so. So what we've done is, we've sent out letters in early December to Morton County has a little over 2,000 farmers, a little over 8,000 egg parcels. So we sent those letters out to all the farmers. We're getting a lot of requests that we print the maps on their behalf, which we're more than willing to do if they stop into the office. Then we will assist them in printing those maps. But if they're unwilling to come to Morton County, we're basically telling them, you kind of need to figure it out. They can send us pictures of the maps. They can print them in black and white. You know, we're not being real specific about it. But if they send an application and they do not attach any map at all, my intention is to deny those as not being complete, at least for the 2026 year. Once these modifiers are on the egg land, they stay there forever unless conditions change, so there's no need for them to continue to reapply. So if we do deny a modifier for 2026, they can still reapply and get that modifier added for 27 in the future years. The reason I'm going to deny those is the application does specify that they're supposed to attach maps in support of their application. Now that map, for the first one, the 75% being not prime, Morton County did put a map out there for them so that they could look at it and see how the soils within their parcel are classified. And so a lot of the comments we're getting from people is, well, you already have the map, so why do I need to send it to you? Well, they're required to print those, and with 2,000 farmers and 8,000 parcels, I don't want to be saddled with sitting there and printing maps for applications where they don't want to do it. Like I said, if they stop in, we're more than willing to assist them. We've had a couple issues with people that are either outside Mandan or in Morton County, and a couple cases where they're not even in the state. So that's what basically what we've told them is, well, you need to kind of get it figured out. If you stop in, we will certainly assist you. But if you can't stop in, then you're going to have to figure out how to get these printed. So, and I know we've had some pushback from a couple people in regards to that. So Commissioner Morrell had kind of asked me to speak to what we're doing there. I still have about 3 or 4 apps up there where they just sent the application with no supported maps. We did reach out to all of them either by phone or email, whatever they provided, told them we need the maps. If they don't get those in, the deadline is February 1st, which falls on a Sunday. I wasn't very good when I set that date. So we will accept them on February 2nd, which is the following Monday. But if they don't get them in by then my intention for 2026 at least is to deny them, and they will have that opportunity, like I said, to complete the application in its entirety, and then they could still get in for 27 and future years. So I'll take any questions in regards to that you guys might have.
I think if it was in the letter that you needed a map, then that's an incomplete. I agree with you.
It's on the application itself down at the bottom, and this is designed by the State Tax Commissioner. So at the bottom, it says that they need to attach maps in support of whatever they're requesting for the modifiers.
Then I wouldn't argue with the calling them incomplete and setting them aside at that point. But commissioners have any questions on that part of it?
Just an added comment, because I did get an email from a property owner that does not live in Morton County, but they have property in Morton County, and they're upset because of that stipulation. And again, citing on behalf of our staff, where you get one person making a phone call and all of a sudden you got 10,000 people making a phone call. So it's one thing to be able to help those who are able to come in, so you can directly communicate and resource and visualize and guide and direct, versus being able to try to guide somebody over a telephone and trying to answer those same questions. So again, for the one person that did communicate to me with that frustration, I thank them for that dialogue, understanding that our staff, as Don had mentioned, how many farmers and how many parcels. And that's just only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, and to date, I would estimate we've fielded between 200 to 300 phone calls so far on these modifiers. So it has been very lively. It's difficult over the phone. Before I came to this job, I was in tech support for the state auditor's office. And it's very difficult over the phone to help somebody, especially when they're not very tech savvy. So we do what we can to assist them over the phone, but you got to kind of figure it out too. I've had people send, just take their phone and snap pictures of the computer screen. We will accept that if that's what they can do. The map is out there. You got to kind of guesstimate the 75%, but it's there for you. Most people can tell what 75% looks like when they look at that map. And then, like I said, all they need to do is snap a picture and email us the picture, and that will be suffice for being complete. But some people, they don't have computers. I've heard that a lot. Or they're just not very tech savvy, so it's difficult for them to figure it out. I sympathize with them, yet at the same token, we've got plenty of other jobs to do, and filling out applications on behalf of farmers is just not one that I'm willing to take on.
Mr. LaFleur, we're totally in compliance with state law here, correct? With what we're requesting?
Yeah, state law just requires we have modifiers.
Okay. I'm just wanting to make sure we're not putting
And
an
we have
undue
them.
burden on people as well. So,
There's nothing in there about that. I mean, the application makes it clear that it's their responsibility to fill out the application and to supply maps in support of what they're requesting.
In other words, prove what you want.
And Mr. Chair, Commissioners, again, Ms. LaFleur and I had this conversation earlier today too, so comparing Morton County against Burley County. So every jurisdiction was requested to identify the modifiers. It's up to the jurisdiction to create those modifiers. And in case of Burley County versus Morton County, the differences between those two, quite a bit. So it makes ours a little bit more engaging, mainly partly because of the percentage of farm operations and parcel holders versus Burley County. I don't have those numbers in Burley County, but again, just looking at the uniqueness of our application, we're making that forward connection to our constituents, to our property owners, to our farm operations, which if we're getting 200-300 phone calls in a day, message delivered. That's
200, 300 or 400 phone calls since we sent out the letter.
But that's a good thing to experience, though.
Yeah, and we made our modifiers, I would say, much more accessible to a wide variety of farmers, where other counties might be much more limited to very few farmers. And that may be why we're getting a lot more here. Okay, and if there's no more questions in that line, my second thing is I would like to pull together a committee. My request would be to have Commissioners Bayham and Commissioner Tokash on that committee. I was going to get our extension service, but he is at National Guard training until February 9th. So I don't know if it'll be feasible for him, but I can certainly be the third one on that committee. I think it'd be best if we did it in my office whenever you guys would have time, if the commission approves that, where I would have access to all kinds of maps and measuring tools to go through those. The first modifier, the 75% not prime, which is the vast majority of what we're getting, that one I can do without any committee. You either make it or you don't. I can run the eggland values and get that pretty easy. The other two, the irregular fields and the saline seeps, and the number of phone calls we've had and the number of questions we asked and have been answering and the number of apps we were getting in on those, there's going to be some interpretation that's going to be needed as far as what we said the requirements are and what we're getting. So I need help and going through those. And I know you two have a good farming background. That's, the only other one I considered was Jackie, but obviously Jackie is unavailable right now. So that's kind of where I'm requesting you two. Whenever you can make it, the deadline is, of course, February 2nd, so it'd be sometime after that. I need to get the egg land values set, and the city notices out in early March. So sometime in February, we need to get this done. I think a 2-hour, maybe 3-hour meeting would be enough. I'll get the apps all together. I'll get an email out to you guys so you can look at them beforehand. And then we can sit down in my office and just go through them one by one and either say yay or nay to them. And where there needs to be measurements of acreage, we can agree on what that acreage will be.
Mr. Chairman, I'm willing to participate.
I think so too. Yeah, we'll just find a date that works for the three of us.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, is it regulated to just a 3-man board? Wouldn't somebody from Morton County Soil Conservation be good on this too?
I don't know if, yeah, there's just, we gotta make that determination, so. You don't wanna get it too big. You
No.
have, but,
Do you have a suggestion?
I was just, soil conservation is still an arm of the government, but they're also their own, the county government, but they're also their own entity. Would somebody from soil conservation board be interested in serving?
trying to think of who's on there.
Or somebody from weed board? Should have some civilian, at least somewhat of a civilian serving too.
I would
Trying to think.
support somebody from the farm economy and maybe another member of your initial committee.
The reason I was kind of shying away from them is they may have apps before us.
Right.
So I was looking at that recusal issue where I knew it was fairly safe with these two, and then, of course, the NDSU extension, that we would not have that case.
And Jaden will be back
On the 9th.
on the 9th, and then if we can
According to
find a
this
day
email.
in there, just, so I think he's in and then he's out again second half of the month. Because I know I was trying to do performance evals with him, and his schedule's a little tight, but there's a time frame in there where he is back. If we could happen to hit that, we could add Jaden back in. That
If
would-
he's willing, I just figured he was probably gonna have a lot on his plate when he got back, since he's gone for, I think, 3 weeks here. According to his email I got back, at least. That's why I was kinda shying away from him. I did
Yep.
send him an email asking him, and that's when I got that response back that he was gonna be out from the 22nd through the 9th.
Mr. Chairman, I think that's a great idea, is to expand the committee. I hate to keep adding people, and I'd support a limit of 5. I'd like an odd number, but I think Soil Conservation Service would be a good place to start.
Mr. Chair, change topics real quick for the point of order, but I just got a text from Wendy Bent. Our microphones are not being picked up, so ensuring that all the board members are speaking directly into the microphones.
Yeah, I don't have a problem adding soil conservation. Just give them a call and see who's up there. Finding a odd numbered fifth one as they catch then.
Okay?
That wouldn't have a conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be the problem when you expand the committee, is finding a time that works for everybody.
Patrick, what are you doing? We'll figure one out. I
Okay.
think. But yeah, we'll just keep talking on that.
Do you want me to contact Soil Conservation then and
Yeah.
see if they have somebody that can?
So if they have somebody, and then we'll figure a date or 2 dates, and then Paul and I might be able to come up with a couple dates for you tonight yet. Get them to you tomorrow, and then work off of those with anybody else.
Okay.
Or with, as far as you're concerned too. Just sometime right after, around that 10th or 11th, or see what happens once.
Yeah, and I still think, like I said, it'd be best if they could meet up in the tax equalization office, 'cause then we'll have all those maps and measuring tools at our fingertips.
Sure. That sounds good. Okay.
Okay,
I think
that's all I had, unless there's other questions. Do we need a formal motion on that, or how does that work?
I think it'd be good to have that, just establishing a committee. So make a motion that we authorize a committee to review and evaluate the applications for the farm modifier applications that have been received. Committee not to exceed 5 members, appointed by the commission.
I'll second that.
Which we just did. All right, it's been moved and seconded to have the committee to examine the ag plan modifier applications as stated. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Don. Patrick, now you're up. I had to make sure you were still awake back there.
Thank you.
See if the ag land stuff would interest you.
Always interests me. Always interests me. Not quite my wheelhouse of knowledge, but
Hey, I always gotta learn.
that's right. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I come before you tonight to present 2 communication plans that we have updated. One we made, the second we updated, but I just wanted to give that information to you as these communication plans may have you involved in the future. I'll just go through the basics of them real quick and kind of describe the difference between them and why we have 2 is my intention tonight. So the crisis communication plan for Morton County, the first one you have in your packet, is actually the communication plan that we formed with the public information officer and our office. And basically the purpose of that plan is to provide a framework for effectively communicating with our partners, stakeholders, the community, and consistently utilizing the resources that are available during an incident. Essentially, this crisis communication plan is focused for Morton County-centric situations or crisis or events. Also relatively short in duration. They may involve key leadership positions such as the commission or incident commander that's affiliated with the county, primarily the sheriff, a department head, portfolio holders, you as commissioners, or the chairperson as commissioner as well. So basically what we are looking at is our training and public information frequently comes up where people that have been doing this for a long time have said, make sure that you have a crisis communication plan. So Ms. Hamilton and I were talking and reviewing, and we didn't for Morton County. So that's what this plan accomplishes. But I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. You can peruse it as you seem fit. I could talk a little bit about the other plan. There may be questions that involve both, unless you have any questions regarding that crisis communication plan specifically.
Didn't read it word for, excuse me, didn't read it word for word, but looks pretty good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to give some comment on that, and specifically on page 7, under the subheading of partners. I don't know if you're aware, in a previous life, I used to coordinate the volunteer organizations active in disasters. I was the state liaison for that entity. So you've taken several of in the community partner bullets, and there's a formatting issue that can be resolved real easily, but the bullets continued on page 8. But several of those entities, the Red Cross, Amateur Radio Emergency Services, the Assisted Living Facilities, Bisman Transit, Church and Faith-Based Community, that's all wrapped up into VOAD. So simple connection with the VOAD, and they are organized through the state, and they're engaged anytime a disaster comes into play of significant proportion, because each of the respective organizations within the VOAD, volunteer organizations active in disasters, have their own respective missions within disaster response. So it's just a quick resource, and instead of having 17 different bullets, you can drop one bullet and two, whatever the case may be. But again, knowing that that resource is there and they can be easily engaged through the State Emergency Operations Center.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner Morrell.
And then, Mr. Chair, if I can, going into the Joint Information Center plan, page 24, 15.5.3, social media coordinator. I glanced at this, I didn't really study it, but speaking from experience, I'm going to target on DAPL. Obviously, I was not a county commissioner, but I was engaged in a lot of the social media activity through other entities that were participating in or got subject to participation within DAPL. But one thing that really takes over communication and the attitude out there with the general public is social media. So a specific duty or a strategy is finding those social media pages that are maintained by other people that are getting this, case in point, news media. Because there's a runaway that happens, and as far as my opinion, my personal opinion, as far as DAPL is concerned, we got beat up dramatically because of social media. So having that as a strategy or as a resource, making sure that somebody in that playing field is identifying where those social media pages are, which again, you have that identified as a bullet, but making contact with the owners of those pages so that they can monitor or put in filters, whatever the case may be, that can help with the messaging. So food for thought.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Morrell, that's a great point. And, you know, you could see current day political issues are driven, like you said, by social media. And, you know, the idea behind that, like you said, is to get out in front of that, correct the ones that are putting out misinformation, and things like that. So, yeah, case in point, just DAPL. And actually, if I may, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, so that's, this is an update from 2016, I believe it was. This Joint Information Center plan was brought together. So we're just looking at updating that, and then having a review process either yearly or every 2 years, just to take a look at it and see, you know, what we need to improve or any changes that we need to make. So just having that conscious effort out there. I just wanted to make mention too that the primary difference, and Commissioner Morrell mentioned it, between the Crisis Communication Plan and a Joint Information Center plan is for those. And a Joint Information Center is where you bring, you know, those staff members together to give them specific jobs, and a lot of the time it's going to be outside jurisdictions as well that are focused on the same mission, so to speak, or event, I should say. And so organizing that is the primary function of a Joint Information Center plan as presented to you guys, or updated, I should say, to the commission. DAPL is a prime example of that, right? So I guess I'll stand for any other questions or comments.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep, Commissioner Fish.
Mr. Martin, I appreciate the work you and your team have put into this. It's a great document. It's very comprehensive. Your department will probably live this thing on a daily basis. For the rest of us, it'll be something we put on the shelf and refer to it as needed. So it reads pretty well that way. It's, you know, index, and we can find different things. But please consider your portion of the Morton County website and how we find documents like this, not just for the commissioners, but for everyone else in the county. employees of the county that need to deal with this. And it isn't just your department, it's a message for everyone's departments, because there's a lot of info out there. The more policies and procedures we have, the harder it is to find everything. So just keep that in the back of your mind as well, but good job on this.
Thank you. Chairman Boehm and Commissioner Tokash, I think, I was just thinking about that this afternoon, and at least for internal staff, commissioners, department heads, things like that, we can put these communication plans on the public drive. Make sure that we point them in that direction. Whether or not they review it is on them, but I guarantee when if they do have an issue, they'll be going to it right away. So, but yeah, thank you for that point.
I recognize that it's supposed to be used as an internal document, but at the same time, we have to be able to find it.
Yes. Yep.
Mr. Chair, another question is for Mr. Morton. Again, when you're going through exercises, granted, there aren't too many full scales that we do, but there's definitely a lot of tabletops. If you haven't, but definitely consider pulling this out as part of that tabletop exercise, so that can also be perused. Something might be missed or something might be amplified stronger than another. So just another food for thought.
Okay. Yeah, that's Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Morrell. That's a very good point. We just had our tabletop exercise for the 4th of July parade 2 weeks ago. We had awesome turnout from the local agencies that the city and us through emergency management work with. I think there was upwards of 40 participants. We actually had some new agencies involved at the hospitals, which, we always overlook some people, and so we got them to the table, which went well, and our after-action report will be coming out to those agencies, and there's some things that we do need to improve that we found through those tabletop exercises, and that's why we have them, right? So, but yeah, moving forward, public information is, I guess, sometimes in the emergency management world, or maybe in the first response world, sometimes it's a thing that's forgotten, or maybe not at the forefront of the response. But it's vitally important. We see that on a daily basis, really. So, but yeah, we had City of Mandan public information officers were at that tabletop exercise, were invited, so and they were there, participated. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident we're moving in the right direction there.
And just to add to that, for the commissioners and for the listening public, is I think the citizens in Morton County might be surprised when they understand how much our emergency operations command, I'll use that term, but our emergency management team is engaged in a lot of the large-scale, there's a lot of large-scale activities that happen in Morton County that are, that people just don't think of, but they require a significant amount of coordination because they can become mass casualty incidents. If something went awry. And kudos for our sheriff's department as well, being part of that, because we know they play with these too.
Yeah, Commissioner Morrell, I just wanted to reemphasize what you said. It's, these planning for these events, particularly in Mandan and also North Dakota Country Fest, is starting this month, and our first event is in May, middle of May for Mandan, but, Country Fest has already been dusting the plans off, so to speak, and making sure that we have certain players in the room and we're communicating on stuff. And we had a tabletop exercise. I don't know if I shared with you guys. Last year was a tabletop exercise for North Dakota Country Fest, hosted in New Salem, and we got a lot of really good discussion out of that as well. Some areas that that we need to work on that we implemented in 2025 to include Emergency Operations Center staffed during the event on the grounds. And kind of the biggest thing that I think people, and for good reason, don't see is like you said, Commissioner Morrell, all the planning that goes in and the levels of government that are involved in that planning, from the feds to the state to the local level to our, local volunteer emergency responders, is bringing them together to have a plan for the hazards and the risks that we identify as a group, and trying to mitigate those as best as possible before we have that event. So, but yeah, thank you for bringing that to attention.
Any other comments or discussion?
I think my time has expired.
I think your time has expired, yeah. All right, Patrick, we have the burn fire restrictions.
Burn restriction, Chairman. So yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that time of year again where we're taking a look at the coming year. I went back and looked for the past, well, since 2016, we've, as a county, we've had some type of restriction or ban in place every year since 2016. The basic idea behind this burn restriction is to follow the state daily fire rangeland index. Just the classification on a daily basis would logically tell you maybe you shouldn't be open burning that day, but there's nothing in place to make sure that that's guaranteed, right, from a preventative perspective. So basically what we're asking the commission to approve is a burn restriction anytime that the North Dakota rangeland fire rating is in the high, very high, extreme, or when the National Weather Service issues a red flag warning for the county. Like I said, we've been doing, the Office of Emergency Management in conjunction with our local fire chiefs have been looking at this as a preventative measure for the past 10 years, and this year is no exception. Maybe going into this year, we don't have the drought outlook or conditions that we may have had in the past years, but as a group, we just think that it makes sense that we have restrictions on burning during those certain conditions.
And this,
One
this
of-
gives our sheriff a little bit of leeway to go out there and tell people to quit too. If we don't have it, there's
Right.
really nothing in place.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, Mr. Chairman. Like I said, there's nothing in place, I mean, either in the county or, as far as I know, at the state level, for if somebody wants to burn on a red flag day, there's nothing that says that they can't. It's advisable that they don't for the rest of the public, right? But this would, as in years past, this would make it a Class B misdemeanor for violation.
Mr. Chairman? Yep. I do have a question. And words mean a lot here, and we just talked about someone that violates this, if we approve it, it'd be a Class B misdemeanor, correct?
That's the way it's written, Commissioner Tokash.
Okay. So, and just so we know what I'm looking at here, if someone's smoking, when it's a red flag warning or a high fire range danger, we're going to charge them with a Class B misdemeanor? And it says what's included on the second page of the document: smoking and outdoor welding / hot work. And those are the things that it's not a smart idea to be out there doing that, but if we're gonna put a proclamation out there or a ban, and we know people are gonna violate it, and we know we're not gonna charge them with it, I can't I'm not gonna ask for legal advice on this, but I highly doubt we're going to charge someone with a Class B misdemeanor for smoking a cigarette.
Right. Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Tokash, I understand what you're saying, and I think the law enforcement always has that leeway, right? I mean, does a charge or the need to issue a citation warrant it in that situation? Somebody walking down the field smoking a cigarette? I don't know, I'm not a law enforcement officer, but there is that discretion, and I mean, the sheriff could talk a little bit about that, but I'm assuming there's discretion as to whether a deputy wants to or not. I think what our restriction tries to accomplish is the recklessness, right?
Would it be more about discarding it and starting a fire that was caused by that cigarette would be?
Correct, Mr. Chair.
The place to place that Class B misdemeanor, not somebody just walking around with a
I was
cigarette.
going to offer that exact suggestion because, again, history has proven, more so out of state, but history has proven that large-scale fires can be caused as simple as a discarded cigarette. But if it can be proven to that, then yes, there'd be resources for that litigation.
And I agree with that, but that's not what we're saying in this proclamation. The proclamation says, no smoking, nor outdoor welding, work. And again, I agree, it's ill-advised to do that, but I'm real reluctant to put something out there that we're not going to enforce. So I'd be fine if we'd strike smoking, outdoor welding / hot work. I think the rest of it's great, but, and I understand it, no one's gonna pursue any of this unless something happens, but we're putting something out there that we said is chargeable as a misdemeanor, even if they're doing it. So I would support the proclamation as such, and striking those last words, smoking, outdoor welding, and hot work.
Actually, Mr. Chair and Patrick, just administrative, so that example is putting in there under IE, in example. It doesn't mean that it's eliminating it, it's just taking it out of the verbiage, if that's a consolation. But I also just noticed there's a formatting error in there too. Parentheses in the middle of the IE. If that would be.
I think it's correct, actually.
Yeah, I just read that again.
It is
would be.
correct up
Yep.
there, the control burns by wood piles, tumbleweeds, tree piles, et cetera. That's where your IE is.
Yep, I see that
The rest are
now.
separate.
Chairman
I'm
Bain,
just trying to figure.
Commissioners, and
Yes.
Commissioner Tokash, it's certainly up to the commission. I mean, ultimately, if you'd like me to take that language out, it's certainly your prerogative for sure.
I recognize it's been in there for a long time, I'm assuming, correct?
I would think as long as I've been here for, the
Right.
past 2 years, I think it's been in there.
Joel probably put that back in when he started.
We had typewriters then?
I think if somebody caused a fire from a discarded cigarette that caused damage, we'd still be able to get charges. That's not the issue. It's how it's worded here is what we're looking at. And if you were on a red flag day out there welding and caused a 20,000 acre fire, there's going to be some consequences to that.
Yeah, Yeah, that comes under endangering by fire, so if you have a situation where you shouldn't be burning and something does happen, then that comes back to that individual if you
Yeah.
cause a lot of different property damage, that type of thing.
So-
It doesn't necessarily have to be in there, but it can still be charged out depending on the circumstances of what happens.
Well, I don't want to get real detailed, but are we ready for a motion?
Yes. If you guys are done, we can still talk some more. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right, I'll tender a motion. I move to approve 2026 Morton County burn restrictions, banning open burning when the North Dakota Rangeland Fire Index is in the in the high, very high, extreme, or red flag warning categories as written, with the exception I'd like to strike smoking and outdoor welding / outwork.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the 2026 Morton County burn ban restrictions banning open burning when the North Dakota Rangeland Fire Index is in the high, very high, extreme, or red flag warning categories, while striking the words smoking and outdoor welding hot work. Is there any further discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you,
So,
Commissioners.
Patrick, you probably got this on your screen in there. Do you want to make a clean copy for me? And
Yes, sir.
just leave it with Heidi after the meeting. I'll sign it
Yep,
then.
I can bring it back real quick.
Yeah, then it's done and taken care of.
Okay.
Because
Thank
you have it dated here, so.
Yep.
Okay. Just make sure I got my notes right. All right. Mr. Psyche, you are next.
Good evening, Commissioners and Deputy Auditor Kranz. I'm before you this evening requesting approval for reallocation of some of our prairie dog funds based on our successful receipt of a grant out of the Flex Fund from the DOT. In your packet, you should have a spreadsheet which is basically represents our contractors, the maintenance assist, that line item that we use for construction. When I was putting my budget together last May, I had put together kind of a wish list of all of the projects we'd like to do and put them in our priority and just basically on everything that we wanted to do. And then found out from Auditor Roan that we had in our prairie dog allotment $1,980,000. So I removed the items, and so we had kept, at the time the budget was approved, the pier repair by Fort Rice, the Mork Bridge, the Sweetbriar, and then also the chip sealing. Well, since all that was approved back in September, we were successful in adding the 3 projects for our August reallotment. As you recall, I came before you and explained how there were other states that had not used their federal funding, and it was reallocated to the state of North Dakota, and we had these plans on the shelf, so we got those funded. So I've added those, and then the other thing was we completed our repair for that cap with $2025, because that bridge had been closed all year. So that freed up that money. And then we were successful with the Mork Flex funding, which is another item in your packet, which is the letter that talked about that award. So what I would like to do is take that $1 million that we had for Mork and apply that to the Kineshesky Bridge, which is a bridge on the frontage road north of the interstate, and it's north of Glen Ellen, just east of County Road 88. And that is currently a 3-ton bridge. The design is complete. We have acquired the right-of-way. We have all our permits ready. So this would be something that we could probably start advertising for bidding once this is approved. And that is one of our 3-ton bridges. Our only other 3-ton bridge is Youngtown, which is also under design, and we should have that bid later this year. So With that, I would like to, as I said, reallocate those funds. When we're all done, we'll have $1,780,000 budgeted for construction. It's a little bit less than what I originally had requested, but I'd like to keep that in there since these are all strictly estimates, except for the three, the paving, the chip seal, and microsurfacing. Those 20% are based on actual bids. But like the Sweetbriar and Kineshisky, those have yet to be bid. So with that, I'd be open to any questions you may have. Oh, one other item. This was discussed at the January 21st Road Commission meeting, and the motion was passed that they recommend approval. So with that, I would be open to any questions you may have.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Thank you, John. I'd like to add one other thing. The reason we brought this to the commission to begin with is there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of detail. We don't need to get into all of that, but the commission does need to understand that since we've moved some of these dollars around, and if we have any delays in getting refunds, or I should say payment from the state, it may require a budget amendment. I wanted the commission to be fully aware of that and approve that, because the state will fund these projects. They've already allocated the funds, but it may land in a different year than what we're anticipating.
And the primary issue is with the flex funding, we have to spend the money and then we get reimbursed. Once we submit our application to get reimbursed, they have assured us, through the DOT has assured us, that it'll be 2 to 3 weeks by the time we get everything reimbursed. So I had talked to Auditor Roan before I even submitted any of our flex fund applications, and she said as long as we get the reimbursement within that same budget year, we would be good.
She's okay.
And we intend on using contracted construction engineering on this with contractors who are very experienced with the DOT and do this work routinely. So we don't have any issues with things like test reports or any other reports that could delay any of the reimbursement. So we want to maintain that integrity throughout this whole thing. So.
And commissioners, it's a very, very slight risk, and I agree. They should be able to we should be reimbursed before we hit the end of our fiscal year, but the state has been slow at times as well.
Yes, I don't know if any of you remember, but when we first switched over to our current bridge inspection system with the consultants, I had budgeted the amount of money each year. Well, we didn't get billed for reimbursement for that first year. So then the next year, I got hit with about 2.5 times what the original was. So we did have to get a budget amendment that year because of the delayed, billing from the DOT. But so yes, we have been, like I said, I've been assured from local government that with this flex funding, as long as we have everything in order, we should be looking at a reimbursement in 2 to 3 weeks. And like I said, we're going to stay with consulting engineers who are very experienced with the DOT so that we can make sure that we have everything in place.
Okay. Any comments, questions, or motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the reallocation of the prairie dog funds in the approved 2026 road and bridge budget as presented by John.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the reallocation of prairie dog funds in the approved 2026 road and bridge budget as presented. Jeez, so many B's in there. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say, nope. we're moving funds around. I'm going to do a roll call vote. Commissioner Tokash?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
And myself, yes. That motion carries.
And that's all I have this
Thank you,
evening.
John.
Thank you.
Sheriff Kirkmeyer. Should I just leave it in the pile? Okay, Don will have it. It'll be upstairs.
All right, good evening. To keep this moving along here, I have three things that are on the agenda for tonight. The first one is just the police contracts, and there's really no change to them. It is just bringing it to the commission to have, request to have the chairman sign them. The only difference was we still have contracts, police contracts with New Salem, Hebron, and Glenollen. The only difference was there was a 5% increase this year that I put in there. It was sent out to the mayors, they signed it, received it back. State Attorney Coffey signed it, and I have signed it, and I'll just bring it to the chairman to sign as well.
I was gonna say, they're not in the packet pile here, so.
I have them, I'll give
Okay.
them to you
Got
here. I have all three from all three cities here, so.
Okay.
That would be my request, is to have the chairman sign the contracts.
Okay. Any questions, commissioners?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we authorize the county commissioner chair to sign the contracts for police service agreements between the cities of Hebron, Glenollen, and New Salem.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to authorize the chair to sign the police contracts for the city of Hebron, New Salem, and Glenollen. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. There we go.
Okay, the second thing is, my request is funding from asset forfeiture. Is if you recall during budget discussions, it was brought up about purchasing a drone. Those, actually, the two things that I want to purchase were in your packet. The drone and some batteries for a current drone that we have. So the amount I'm requesting from the sheriff's asset forfeiture is $11,487.68 to purchase a new drone and also batteries for a current drone that we have.
Just had to do quick math. Those are the two combined.
That's correct.
11,487.68. Okay.
Yep, that maths.
Come on, you went to Mandan. You should be able to add faster than that.
I did, I carried the one.
All right, is there any questions or discussion for Sheriff Kirkmeyer?
Mr. Chair, I move that we authorize the expenditure of the asset forfeiture funds in the amount of $11,487.68 for the purchase of a drone for the sheriff's department and batteries.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve the spending of the asset forfeiture fund to the tune of $11,487.68 for drone and battery. Is there any discussion? Roll call again. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none. Commissioner Morrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Tokash?
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion carries.
All right, and the last thing is in the 2025 North Dakota Legislature approved a bill for back the blue funding for law enforcement and correction officers throughout North Dakota, depending on the size of the agency. With that allocation from the legislature, we were the sheriff's office, Morton County Sheriff's Office, was awarded $50,951.22. So it's $50,951.22. And that is for retention bonuses for the deputies and for just sworn personnel. It was put to sworn personnel only or correctional officers. So that is the funding that that the state provided. So what I'm requesting is just the authorization to spend those funds for the retention bonuses, which right now I have it divided up. I'm just going to divide that amount of money by the 37 sworn officers, and it comes out to where we need to be. And the only difference is this year I talked with HR Bent too, and I kind of wanted a form to say that they had to stay a year, because this is a retention bonus, so I want them to make sure that they stay the year. They would sign this before they get the bonus, and then if they leave prior to the year being up, it would be that amount. It's about $1,300, a little less than $1,300. That would be divided by 12, and that's what they would have to pay back basically if they left before the year. That's the plan.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept the Back to the Blue grant in the amount of $50,951.22 for the sheriff's departments for the purposes of retention bonuses, and that authorizes the sheriff to distribute the funds in accordance with the grant.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to authorize the use of the Back to Blue funding to pay for retention bonuses and allow the sheriff to pay those bonuses out. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? It's a fiscal note, so Commissioner Morrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Tokash?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion carries.
Right, thank you very much. Just one other thing, I just want to give you a quick update on the LEC project, where that's at. I think Commissioner Beam, or Chairman Beam, seen a bill, a good sized amount of bill coming in this time, which is a progress bill for the boilers and for the air conditioning to order all that stuff in. The boilers and everything are all here, so now we're going to make payment for those. That project still won't happen complete until, and then the generator's been ordered as well, but this project won't continue on until it warms up enough to where we don't need the heat in the LEC, and then the rest of the project will continue. On the other part of that, the concrete by Northwest Contracting in the garage has been done. So the drains have been, both east and west doors and in the wash bay have been repaired, and actually we'll open it back up on Monday for use. But that project went pretty slick, and the drains are in a lot better condition than what they were before. So just a little update on it, on where we're at. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have, do we have our deputy auditor in charge of this one, or are we just on our own? Kathy probably is going, no, we don't know anything.
Well, I think Don said that it was going to.
Yeah, it's been discussed. Anybody want to? It's talking about appointing the portfolio holder to the Morton County Housing Authority Board.
Need a motion.
Mr. Chair,
need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we identify our portfolio holder, in this case be Commissioner Tokash, to be seated as a board member on the Morton County Housing Authority Board, knowing that right now there actually is an open seat on that board, so he would fill that open seat.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to appoint Morton County Commissioner Paul Tokash, the portfolio holder, to the Morton County Housing Authority Board to sit on that board for the open seat that is currently existing. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair, also adding that that be a recurring position as a Morton County Commissioner being on that board.
Yeah, currently it's Commissioner Tokash.
Correct.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Heidi, is there anybody online?
Mr. Chair, before you go to the comment,
I just checked it. Yep.
I would invite the chair to invite
No.
our new
Bring Blaine up.
facilities, our facilities manager to come to the podium and introduce himself.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Morrell.
Mr. Blaine Pagel.
Hello, Mr. Chairman and Board. I am Blaine Pagel, the new supervisor for the buildings and grounds. I just wanted to introduce myself.
Where are you from? Where are you from, Blaine?
I'm originally from Hettinger, and I do live in Bismarck.
Okay. Gotta get you to move over here.
What enticed you to apply for Morton County?
I just kind of want to make sure that the building's running great and everything's good for the city of Mandan. Keep it operational.
Or Morton County?
Morton County.
Okay.
Yep. That was,
Any questions?
Welcome.
Good luck and welcome on, and I'm sure we'll find some things to do.
On a personal note, Blaine and I have known each other for a number of years working, so Blaine is actually very knowledgeable in facilities management, so it's been a good asset for Morton County to have him on board.
Good.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Blaine. All right, then we are going to move into our public comment period as required by North Dakota Century Code 44-04-20.1. Seeing there's no one in the room, I will open the public comment period. It is 7:01. Well, is there anybody in the room that wants to make a public comment? Other department heads? Don't think so. How about online? I will call 3 times for online. We do have someone online tonight. Is there any public comment from online? Any public comment from online? And last call, public comment from online. Seeing none, I will close our public comment period at 7:01 also. Commissioners, have anything else good for the order?
No.
Motion, we adjourn.
And move to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we are adjourned.